Alright, welcome back. This is War 11. We have matched Salty, which we kind of figured we were going to match them anyway. My team is going to be S99 Anti-Venom and White Mags, and currently we are 0.4 of a death ahead of JA. So if we win and they win, if we die once, they have first place basically. Starting out on path 2, I got this Mangog here. And this is a pretty classic standard fight for S99 here. I normally don't take Mangog here, but I have taken him before. Normally I take him in section 3, but he's still relatively easy here. He's probably easier here than he is in S3 on 54. Any mystics on this path pretty much kind of S99 food. So you can play this one however your heart desires. Just hit his block, hit him normal, do whatever it is that you want. Because you don't really have to worry about pausing your debuffs. So I'm just going to work to my special 2, launch that, and adios. And then next up, I think I have Mephisto. So I actually took Dex off before I even took the Mangog fight because I knew I was going to take it off for this fight anyway. And I just kept it off the whole war because all of my fights are going to be with Spidey. And the reason I take Dex off is because he puts Soul Imprisonment on you at the start of the fight. And Soul Imprisonment, just like Rintrah's Neutralize, prevents you from pausing your debuffs if you have the Dex Mastery active. Because when you trigger it, you are attempting to trigger a buff. And Soul Imprisonment Neutralize doesn't like that. So because it stops you from quote-unquote triggering the buff, it prevents you from pausing. But without Dex on, you can pause all you want. And my basic strat for this one is just hit his block. Gonna bait special 1s out of him, and gonna stay away from him when he has the Aura of Incineration up. And that is pretty much the gist of this one. So I'm gonna let this one play out, and I will come back when it is finished. Alright, next up, moving into section 2, I have this Apocalypse here on 25. So I've taken this fight before with Spidey. Because Spidey can't get buffs, he just eliminates the power snack part of the node. So it pretty much just becomes an Apocalypse with the tactic. So anytime I go to parry him or he hits my block, he is going to get flourish buffs. But because of the way I'm playing the node anyway, and the way that you play Spidey 99 for the most part, I have to hit his block, and when you hit the defender's block, it removes the flourish. So it's not really, it doesn't really come into play that much in this fight. So I'm going to try to bait his special 1s out from him. I'm going to Dex out of the 3rd beam of it and block the first 2, and I'm just going to play normal Spidey style and not throw any specials in this one. So I'm going to take him down completely with the Rupture DOT and the Rupture Burst damage from pushing him over bar power. So I'm going to let this one finish, and I'll come back. And then last up here, I have this Sassy on 48. I've taken this fight a ton. The strategy for it is parry heavy at the start, get your exhaustion up. Once you have that exhaustion up, you want to maintain it for the rest of the fight. If at any point you were going to lose it, you could just obviously drop another heavy attack, and you would just apply another one. And that exhaustion is going to prevent Sassy from going into Wrath, which is the reason that he's placed on this node, because the node itself has power efficiency, so it costs him 50% less power on specials. And when he is in Wrath, that also costs him less power, so it ends up being a nightmare if you let him get into Wrath on this node. So maintaining that exhaustion is key. And then from there, I am just going to build up my 20 ruptures, push him over a bar of power, bait the special out, and repeat the process. Sometimes I'll push him over the bar by hitting him normal. Sometimes I'll just push him over by hitting his block. And It all depends on how you want to do it, and just be aware that when you reach your first bar of power, you are going to end up getting a falter on you, because the node will give him the vigilance buff right there, and when that runs out, you're going to have a timer that you can either transfer the falter to him, or it's going to end up putting itself on you. So what I like to do in this situation is, if there's a good opportunity to transfer it, I will, but otherwise I'll literally just wait it out, and I will just dex the entire time it's up, because it doesn't do any harm. It keeps pausing your debuffs, and your ruptures are just ticking away for damage the whole time that you're doing that. I'm just going to finish him off right here, and down he goes. All right, so we ended up winning this one. For the second time in MCOC history, GT and Salty have gone 300-0, and I'm not sure what the fuck the odds are of that happening, but I would imagine they have to be astronomically low. Salty played a hell of a fucking war once again, and they forced us to be at our very best in order to win, because they finished their boards first, and it was just, it's another one of those things that it's absolutely crazy to be a part of, and it's super cool to be able to do this with another alliance. In these situations, it kind of sucks that one of us has to lose. That is unfortunate, and I know Salty is going to be top 10 this season, which is not what they were aiming for, but I'm sure and I hope that we will see them in the podium next season, because these guys are fucking machines. So JA ended up dying twice in their war, so that gives us a 2.4 attack bonus lead. And going into War 12, which is most likely going to be against New Nation, and if we want to win season, we're going to have to beat them, and we're going to have to not die more than 2 times. So 2 times or less, preferably 0. But if we have to die, it can't be more than 2. But that is all she wrote for now. Thank you very much for watching, and I'm excited to see what War 12 brings.